Hey, it's Matt Mosley, the Matt Mosley Show on Rogue Media Network, one of the fastest growing platforms in the country. Oh, let's Scotty, just to have fun. Let's see what this looks like real quick. Oh, come on. Yeah, look at there. Look at there. Just add a little light, add a little color. Mosley's looking a little washed out today. It happens. And I think one of the reasons I'm feeling washed out, washed up, all those things, Scotty, is because the Americans did not show up this morning. They were there. They were on the course. It is Bethpage Black. The American fans were going insane. They were teeing off in the 7 a.m. Eastern hour, which would be about 6:15 our time this morning. So as I was rolling out of bed, I stay up late. I get up early. I wanted to monitor how the Americans would do. Bryson DeChambeau almost drives the first green. The American fans, that kind of excites them, pumps them up. They send him out with the excitable Justin Thomas. And there we go in the Ryder Cup. The Europeans, the evil Europeans, come on to American soil. I mean, for the most part, I've got a lot of European friends. But in this case, we want to beat the Europeans into submission. And Scotty got off to a rough start. The Americans, our friends, the Americans, which I once explained to my little 2-year-old daughter. That was not one of my finer moments, by the way, when Obama gave the order to go get bin Laden. I tried to explain what was happening to my either 2.5 or 3-year-old daughter. It was not a finer moment, because then she repeated kind of what I had informed her. It was a good moment at post 9/11. It was like a huge moment.
So this is category of Mosley gives Scotty dad-daughter advice based on a mistake.
I was with her. We were back in her little room there, and the news had just dropped, and I obviously didn't walk her through what had happened or how it happened or what the SEAL Team 6 had done.
Headshot.
Anything like that. No, none of that. But I said something along the lines of, to my little daughter, I said, our friends, the Americans, killed bin Laden. And it sounds weird. But it was an exciting moment for the country, because this evil person was gone. And I'm sorry that the Ryder Cup sent me into thinking this, but our friends, the Americans, made me think of that moment. And I say this to my 2-year-old. What year was that we killed bin Laden, Scotty?
It was 11, maybe 11 or 12.
Oh, if we only had a way to look this up. I don't know. How could we
hold.
possibly know
my
this?
God.
I think it was probably
May 2nd, 2011.
Okay.
I told you. 11.
You did great. I'm so sorry. She was 3, about to turn.
I think
4.
I get a Schmaltz's coupon for getting
Yes. Oh, we had a great winner yesterday. Way to go, Biscuits and Gravy, if we ever figured out that person's name. My daughter was almost 4. And I said, our friends, the Americans, killed bin Laden, is really what I said to her. And I didn't get into any of it. But later that night, or maybe it was the next day, she's at Big Shucks, not Aw Shucks, but Big Shucks, with my mom and my in-laws and my dad. And I don't think I was there for some reason. It's probably working. And my cute little 3.5-year-old daughter kind of belts out, our friends, the Americans, killed bin Laden. And it was just kind of like just shock. Everybody's like, what is going on?
It's the phrase our friends, the Americans, because that would imply that she is not an American, which she clearly is.
Yeah, but it's just, I had said that to her to kind of, because I was happy that moment had happened, and I shared it with my daughter, but certainly not in any kind of context of how we did it or who
You didn't
this
say
was.
our friends, the Navy SEALs.
No. I just
The
said
most
our
elite
friends.
fighting force in the world.
And boy, she got in front of the in-laws and my parents and just repeated that exact line. Our friends, the Americans, killed bin Laden.
And you're like, she heard it at daycare.
No.
She heard it at daycare.
No,
Don't know where
certainly.
that came from.
Certainly, I think everybody in that group immediately knew she had picked that up from her dad. I don't think there was a lot of like, where did she get that? I think it was like, okay, she's Matt. She was spending time alone with her dad, and she picked up on something very interesting. I also, just as an elaborate weird joke, which I don't know if one time I kind of, she used to call my mother-in-law Barbara because I tried so hard to get her to learn. And so my mother-in-law wanted to be named Mumsy, which is she lived overseas and she's extremely smart. And by the way, she's Oklahoma State grad.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I thought it would be funny to spend the first year or two trying to teach my daughter these words. And I tried to introduce her to her grandmother, Barbara, and I just said Barbara over and over, and because I thought it would be funny if in the early days she called my mother-in-law Barbara instead of the name she wanted to be called. And that it worked because early on she was Barbara.
That's gold. I don't know if it's that funny or if it's the fact I've been up since 12:30, but I think it was that funny. That's pretty good.
That's what happened.
That's pretty good.
Well, we just put them out there. Okay. We've got major stuff to discuss, and the Ryder Cup. So our friends, the Americans, are trying to fight back. I'm glad we could get that aside, taken care of. The Scotty Scheffler is by a long shot the greatest golfer in the world, yet he's trailing even in this afternoon 4-ball competition. And if we have a moment, I may explain what 4-ball is as opposed to alternate shot. There's our golfers know, so I'm not going to get into that. But he's teamed up with J.J. Spawn, who won the U.S. Open, and they're down through 5 holes. The Europeans are one up in that match. Americans are up in one match through 4. Justin Thomas and Cameron Young. Nobody can figure out why he sent Justin Thomas back out because he putted horribly earlier today. They're one up over Rasmus Højgaard and Ludvig Åberg, and then the other matches are all square. It's not. I would say it's not looking great. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it, and they're only down 3-1. Not the end of the world, but at this point, Europe needs 14 points to retain the Ryder Cup. So that's where we are in all this. And I know, Scotty, you're not a golf guy, but this is an enormous story today. And when we get the USA out there against the Europeans, there's a lot of pride, and the people in Long Island today are going crazy over this. This is wild. Now, 2:00 today, we will have Bill Jones, longtime Cowboys reporter, anchor for CBS, and also huge Sooners insider. Okay, he's a big OU guy, so we'll get his take on a couple things, including the situation with John Mateer as he comes back from that hand surgery. So we'll do that. We also have Campus Confidential coming up at 1:30. And then we top it off this weekend with Green and Gold Game Day, which will start. You can watch it on KWTX. You can watch it on our YouTube page, the Green and Gold Game Day. And I've seen the script for this. I've seen the rundown. It looks to be a good one. Looks to be one that I'm going to memorize, commit to memory, and then I will perform like I've never performed before from a studio somewhere. I don't know if we're allowed to say where we are, but we will be in a very beautiful studio, and that's where I will be doing this from tomorrow with Scotty and with Faith Lynch. So excited about that, and excited that the Bears have a chance to move to 3-2 and take down the dreaded Pokes. What you can't do, what you cannot do when a team has fired its coach and there's weirdness going on in the land, you cannot think about that stuff. You cannot get distracted by it. You have to look at Oklahoma State as a team that wants to crush you, because in 2021, a team went out and played for its head coach that got fired, Gary Patterson. They rallied around the fact that he wasn't there. They rallied so much that the next year they played for a national title. But I don't see OSU doing that. Could I see OSU coming out with a lot of juice and a lot of momentum? The answer is yes. And so what you have to do is match that. You have to come out and you have to be the aggressor, and you have to throw the first punch. And so the Bears will come out tomorrow. And Scotty, by tomorrow, by the time we come on the Green and Gold Game Day show, I will kind of know the names of several of the players for OSU. And I'll be able to talk about what they try to do. For our purposes, our show today, unnecessary. This is about going out and getting a win against inferior quarterback, inferior offense, inferior talent. You've constructed and you have utilized your NIL money a lot better than OSU has. Go prove it. Go show it. Go show it. I mean, like, Scotty, I know you've already kind of said if they don't cover the 20 and a half, you're going to be upset. But I gotta tell you, if they lose this game, if they find a way to go to Stillwater and they lose this game, we're having a whole separate conversation. And it's not about Gundy. It's not about Gundy and about Gundy losing his job. It's about somebody else. Now, I don't like to speak things into existence. I don't like karma. And so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time today going, what would happen if they lose? You know, what would happen to Aranda? Because it can't happen. It shouldn't happen. And and nobody's going, hey, Baylor lost this linebacker. Baylor's got this guy out. Baylor's got Carl Williams out. I mean, Scotty, at this point, we got to just kind of start going, Carl may not be with us this year. I don't know what's going on with Carl Williams. I mean, he's out there and then he's not. And he's not in a game, then he's not. Other players come and go. Cooper Land's going to try to make a go. He is, I think, probable for this game. I was looking at the injury report. Travion Barnes would play in a wheelchair if he could. Like that, that's the kind of spirit, and that's the kind of people Baylor need. Okay, he's out for the season, but Lord knows that dude would play through anything. He would do anything to be on the field. That's what the Bears need. Again, Carl may be really banged up, and maybe he's giving it the best. But last time I saw Carl, he was getting burned for about a 65, 70-yard touchdown on a jailbreak-type play SMU had. Didn't Carl play in that game, Scotty? I think he did. I think I might have seen Carl out there, and he got exposed on that play. And we just can't get Carl to the games, and that's a problem. No matter how talented you are, if you can't get him to the games. Now, I saw some things in that last outing against Arizona State, and that's another good game, Scotty. That TCU going out to Arizona State, TCU with Josh Hoover playing great. They obliterated UNC. Hoover's putting up great numbers. I heard you say, Scotty, and it kind of hurt my heart, but I think what you said was true. He may be the best quarterback in the Big 12 right now. Does that mean it could end up that way? Well, you never know. You never know. I mean, we could look up in a few weeks and go, you know what? This kid that filled in for Baron Morton, that kid's looking great. Who is this young man, by the way? Scotty, who's come into our lives? Oh, Will Hammond, I believe is his name. I don't really know him. I mean, I think you probably know him because nobody keeps up with junior and senior high school quarterbacks like you. You fall in love with these kids who commit to Baylor early. You fall out of love with them once they get to Baylor. I mean, there'll be that one kid that you were singing his praises that transferred in from Auburn. And by the end of this season, Walker White, there's a chance that you just forget his name. You've committed this young man to memory, and you will move on from him. You love him and you leave him, Scotty Swingler, and that's just kind of the way it is. And that's kind of the way we've learned that it goes. But right now, you have a great love for a young man that plays for Jason Witten, and you think he might be the future of Baylor football as quarterback. I don't know who. Hey, you know who might be the starting quarterback at Baylor next year? And it's not going to be Quinn Murphy or whatever.
It is going to be Quinn Murphy.
It's like, I mean, Seriously. I mean,
Who?
I keep winning these bets, and you and Pete don't always pay off on them. So I gotta start writing these things down.
Who?
Who's going to be the quarterback at Baylor next year?
Are you going to say Edward Griffin?
Sawyer Robertson.
Does he have a year left?
Absolutely. I mean, hey, in this world that we live in now, how could you not have a career, another year left? He had to redshirt at Mississippi State. He's only actually a junior this year. He played some after he transferred from Baylor. Then he played big time last year. So he's got two. Yeah. He's
no.
He's got 1 year left.
Google AI says he does not.
He did not. He was able to redshirt at Mississippi State. Think about that. He comes into Baylor. He plays that season, and then he played last season, and he's playing this season. Am I right? Yeah. He should have another year left if he wants it. Sawyer Robertson totally has another season left.
He does not. I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm now looking at Baylor athletics. He was 2 years at Mississippi State, so one of those is redshirt. Then it's redshirt freshman, sophomore.
I thought he was 1 year at Mississippi State. I've got to go to the tape on this because I think he's got. I feel a lot of conviction in this. Less so now that the 2 years at Mississippi State. I think
Baylor football bio says spent 2 seasons at Mississippi State, 2021 and 2022.
We got to take a peek at that.
Okay,
we'll take a peek at that. I think Sawyer could come back.
Well, earlier you told me to start looking things up, so I went ahead and looked it up, and I've got 2 sources now that say
you can have the sources.
That say that Sawyer's done, and therefore Scotty is right. Quinn Murphy is going to show the world what's up.
No, Quinn Murphy, God love him.
Number 3 quarterback in the state.
In this class. That's a problem if that guy gets thrown into action and has to play next year. I hope he comes in. I think it'll be exciting. But I think the guy they're in love with is Griffin. I mean, they more than Nate and more than the great Walker White. They are in love with one Ed Griffin. And this head coach, if he's still here, I think Edward Griffin has breakfast at the Aranda home most days. I think they have him a little place there. Hey, Ed, you need any clothes done or anything? You want to stop by? They have you talk about someone they've fallen in love with. It would be Edward Griffin the 8th. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if he's even a junior. He's Ed Griffin, though, and I've seen him in person. Have you seen Quinn Murphy yet in person? Because I think you can't totally fall in love with a high school quarterback until you go put eyes on them. And I know you like to do that, and you like high school, and I don't want to hear all the excuses of, Matt, I've got to produce this and produce that. Matt, I've been in ministry. Have you been able to see the young man from Liberty Christian, Argyle Liberty Christian? Have you put eyes on him?
I've not.
I'll wait.
I've watched a lot of tape. This is true. I'm on the record, by the way.
I've watched a lot of tape. Good.
I'm on the record as
Mr. PFF himself.
I've only, in watching every quarterback Baylor's recruited since Petty, I've only claimed 3 guys were going to be great at Baylor, and I'm 2 for 3. I loved Seth Russell's tape coming out of high school. His tape was crazy. I didn't understand how he was a 3-star.
What tape are you referring to? Like YouTube or like what?
Like 247 Sports, Rivals, all these places where they publish.
Okay, I'm just trying to imagine.
I watched Seth
young
Russell's
Baylor
tape.
Scotty.
Yes, I was watching high
kind
school
of like maybe calling
tape.
out there, like kind of getting some coaches tape. Hey guys, would y'all mind sending me?
I watched Russell. I said Russell was going to be a game changer. Mm-hmm. The other guy that nobody was high on, and I have played this clip this year on Please Bear With Me, when he was a true freshman in camp, spring camp, I said Charlie Brewer is going to end up starting and being a star. Nailed that one. The other guy that I was wrong about, the other guy whose tape jumped at me, was Kyron Jones. And Kyron Jones has been somewhat a disappointment, not just because he transferred, but Quinn Murphy's tape is the best tape of any quarterback I've seen come to Baylor since Kyron Drones. It's incredible what that kid can do.
I will,
Incredible.
if he's starting next year, and we're still doing this, which I plan on, we will remove that name down there on the bottom left corner, and we'll change it to Please Bear With Me backwards hat. It'll be a Blink 182 inspired show. It will just put Scotty's name on the show. If he is the starter,
you
the
are going to
next
regret
season,
saying
I'm
this.
not talking about the whole season. I'm saying if he's the starter going into next season, we'll remove you mark this down. We'll remove that name. It'll be a nameless show.
No.
You.
Not nameless.
No, we'll
you said, please bear with me.
No,
that's what you said. Oh, you're already taking it back.
No, I've decided it'll be the Faith Lynch show. I've decided I'm not turning it over to you. I'm turning it over to Faith.
No. I'm clipping this. Okay. I'm keeping it.
All right. Clip it. Okay. By the way, those shorts that they're putting out there, the Z-Man put something out with something me talking about Micah yesterday. Scotty, is there a way to do it like where they don't all have to be like extreme close-ups? I mean, I don't know if anybody really wants those massive, like just the extreme close-up. Is there a way to do it without that, or do you have to kind of go with the close-up? I mean, you're a man that knows how to do these things. Is there any way around that, or does it have to kind of be that, okay, we're going to show you the most extreme, big-headed Mosley that we can find?
So the clips can only be generated off of what we're creating right now. So I want you to look at how I am framed versus how you are framed. And it's easier to give yourself more space in a short if you're framed that way. But if you're framed where you're all up on the screen, you can't zoom out.
What if I'm back here, like right now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Does that get me in a less okay?
I think so.
But when I get kind of excited, I come up in here.
I know you do. I know that's that old radio guy in you. But yeah,
360.
You gotta relax a little bit.
You gotta coach the radio out of me.
Kick back. Get a little North American black bear tattoo. Sick 'em bears.
No, sir. There will be no tattoos. In fact, I have talked to ownership, the leadership of Rogue, and they are going to ask you to remove the tattoos. We're gonna do tattoo removal for Scotty, and it's just something we've been talking about, kicking around. So I thought I'd share this with you now. It is the Mosley Show, Rogue Media Network, Campus Confidential coming up, where we'll hit on a lot of things. Scotty, I want you to be ready to go. There's so many good games and so many fun games, and even like that Colorado BYU game is kind of fun. But there's a huge Big Ten game. And maybe the fraudulent James Franklin, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to shut people up. You're like number 3, a whiteout, Drew Aller. You got the allegedly great quarterback, and you've got a big time. You've got Dan Lanning and Oregon coming into town with, what's that kid's name? Dante Moore. I mean, This is an enormous opportunity, and I think what's going to happen is Dan Lanning is going to remind everybody, "Hey, I'm a top 4 or 5 coach in college football. I'm a top 3 coach because I'm going to go in here to Happy Valley in this crazy environment, and it's a whiteout. It's all these things, and I'm going to put one on James Franklin. That's a good one. And then this other one is the Lane Kiffin and Scotty, I want to talk some lines with you because I do have thoughts going into this, but I think LSU going into Ole Miss, there's a couple of things at stake. One is like the Nussmeier NFL future. Okay, who is this? Who is this guy? Like, is he the best quarterback in the country when it comes to like being a future NFL player? Because we kind of were told that he might be. What's he going to do in this environment? And then how does Ole Miss react with Lane Kiffin picking the younger guy or over the more experienced guy? I kind of like this quarterback that he's throwing out there. I mean, because he is a dual threat, and he can run around, and he can do some things. And he's just an interesting cat. This is an interesting young man that Ole Miss is throwing out there. This is a great opportunity for Lane Kiffin because you can separate all the off the field. Oh my gosh, he's not drinking anymore. Oh, he's making nice with his ex-wife. Oh, they're doing another documentary on him. This is an opportunity to separate Lane Kiffin, the character, from Lane Kiffin, the big-time head coach. Would most schools want Lane Kiffin right now? Yeah, the answer is yes. But is it all built on substance? The answer is no. The answer is no. So this is a huge substance game for Lane Kiffin to go out there and prove, hey, I'm the man. And I am. And for Brian Kelly, there's a ton on the line here. Are we LSU, the playoff contender, the national championship contender? Like right now, Scotty, and let's not try to name all 12, but how many teams, without even listing them, Scotty, like if I said to you how many, and we just saw it happen to Oklahoma losing their quarterback. I think they're kind of out. Texas has looked so bad with Arch. They would have been one of them. But like if you were just going to say how many legit national contenders are there at this given moment, would you expand it to like, well, Matt, I think 12 different teams could do it? Or would you already have it in your mind down to about 5? Where are you with national championship contenders as we sit here today on September, whatever this is?
Again, without just naming them, 7 or 8. There's probably 7 or 8 teams that you could tell me they're going to get it, and I'd believe you.
See, I think you probably have Penn State in there, and I'm not there. I'm not there with. Okay,
I do,
yeah.
and Oregon certainly.
You have Florida State in there.
I do. Until I see otherwise on the field, I do.
You have Alabama in there.
I do not. No.
You have Georgia in there.
I do.
Okay, and those two play each other, so that's a big moment.
Top of mind, and David Pollack said on the Pete Souza show this week, he thinks they're the best team in college football right now. Miami. I don't know how they're flying under the radar somewhat, but Miami has looked very good early on in this season.
Yeah, we just don't trust them because of the past. Like right. It's like the University of Texas for several years. They're back. Like people think that of Miami sometimes, and they just can't prove it over the course of a long season. Like Kirby, there's just certain coaches we trust, right? I mean, like we have a lot of trust in Kirby Smart. We used to have a ton of trust in Dabo, and that trust has waned, obviously, because of what's happened. We don't have trust in James Franklin. We had trust in Saban, but he's not there anymore, so we don't have trust in DeBoer. It is funny. Like I have total trust in Lanning. I mean, but I think that's where it gets interesting because if you talk about coaches we have total trust in, I think it narrows quite a bit. Well, and only about 5 of those.
You haven't named Ryan Day or Ohio State, and they might be the safest bet. I know teams don't often repeat, but they might be the safest bet right now. If you were just going to gamble on it like that, they could very well do it again. It wouldn't surprise anybody. And I'll tell you, the other team. This pains me to say it as a Baylor fan. The other team that is in the hunt today, we'll see what happens in a few weeks. Texas Tech, we know how good that roster is based on portal rankings, based on what they've spent. And so far on the field, they have lived up to it.
But even though Joey is friend of the show and all of that, and
I don't know if I trust Joey or not.
Comes on. Yeah. I'm just saying he's not in that.
Playoff, but
correct. But he's not in that.
You just asked about contenders. I think today, if you were going to pick a Big 12 team that you're like, they might have the talent and the stuff it takes to do it, especially after how well Will Hammond, true freshman, did coming in and playing the other day. Woo, buddy.
What's the line on that Tech Arizona State game?
Tech is favored.
Wait, Arizona State. Excuse me.
Arizona State's playing TCU.
Yeah. Who's Tech got this weekend? Is it nobody? I mean, coming off a big win at Utah. It is. I think the thing that shocked people about Tech is that they were that great on defense in that game. And the defense is what State kept them afloat till the offense arrived late. I mean, it didn't happen until the fourth quarter.
I couldn't find them on the betting line because they have a bye this week.
Okay.
Tech has a bye this week.
When's Tech in action next? Who are they up against the next week? Texas Tech. I find, I mean, that you talk about
Houston.
Wild. Okay, now that'll be interesting
because Houston's undefeated.
Houston is much improved,
and then they've got a pretty good stretch here. They've got Houston and Kansas, who are two pretty sneaky good teams right now, and then they've got Arizona State.
Where's that game? Where's Arizona State game?
At Arizona State.
Okay, so I mean, I think a lot of the Tech season comes down to that.
Well,
that hinges on that trip.
That and then November 8th, they've got BYU, who is also now ranked and undefeated.
Where?
That game is in Lubbock.
BYU goes in there. God, that would be amazing for Tech to run the table. I mean, I don't really see it happen in this conference. I see them stumbling at some point, and I think that's a ton to ask if they decide to go to Hammond. We need to look and see. Like we don't get it this week because they don't have to put out an injury report going into a bye, obviously. But we kind of need to start getting a feel for where they are on Baron Morton and Will Hammond.
Well, listen, Matt, you could say it's because there wasn't tape and it was a surprise, but I think their offense got better with Hammond in the game. And I know it was late in the game and things happen, and it may not prove to be true next time, but they didn't even seem to take a step back. It almost seemed like they took a step forward when he entered the game. And I know he was getting a lot of buzz in camp as just being a crazy talent. So, Texas Tech's kind of like Baylor here, where they're dodging some big opponents. They're dodging Iowa State, who's the other real contender in the Big 12. So they're obviously dodging Baylor, but I don't know that that's as big of a deal as I might have thought preseason. So,
even though it's an 11 a.m. ESPN Plus, and there'll be more people watching our pregame show probably than get to see some of that on ESPN Plus. That K-State, if Baylor can take care of business in Stillwater, that K-State game becomes huge, because the problem with a team like K-State is that once their season trends in the wrong direction, like it already has, there are some teams you can count on to go ahead and spin out of control. And unfortunately, that's what got Gundy fired, is that Oklahoma State became a team that you could depend on to just kind of start to reel and not be able to get it back together. I just don't think K-State and that coach are built like that. I think that's an extremely scary game, even though it's at home. And I think that you talk about, like, if I keep hating to say if you lose that game, but the truth is that's the game. If Baylor can get past Stillwater, like, then trying to establish something at home becomes huge. And it's going to be up to those players and the coaches, because I don't think the fans probably are going to show up for them in that game. And I hate that. And I know Baylor will do everything possible, and they probably wish I would not say something like that. Okay. But I'm not, this is not some kind of state sponsored show like we're trying to see in some circles. I don't even think a big bludgeoning of Oak State will send the people swarming back to McLean. I think they're going to have to get on the roll somehow and bring the fans back, because I think that Arizona State loss drained a lot of fans, and a lot of fans left that game early, unfortunately. And that's something that doesn't happen in other fan bases. It does happen to Baylor, and I hate it, because I'm part of that group. I'm part of that base, and now I'm not up there painted green and gold because I'm in the press box. But shame on folks for just taking off after an interception in the third quarter. I mean, that's tough. It's not a good look from the Bear family. All right, we do have major guests coming up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Let's call that 2. And we've got Scotty with some big time Campus Confidential. That is next.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mosley Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mulleybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
It is the Mosley Show on the Rogue Media Network. And Well, thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you for what you do, and great sponsors of ours. Our presenting sponsor, thank you, Ascension Providence, and then Cherry Johnson, Sigmund, and James, that unbelievable law firm there in Waco. And then Schmaltz's. We did have a winner of our initial Schmaltz trivia contest. I did it for years on the radio. Schmaltz came right over to the YouTube show, and we're glad to have him. Nelson Rue, longtime radio listener, and we'll get him over here. We'll get him over here on YouTube. But Britt Tully has now the new ownership of Schmaltz's, and he's excited about this. We're excited to have him aboard. The Schmaltz. If you haven't had lunch yet, get over there. Get over there. In fact, the downtown restaurant, usually till about 3. I think they're over there till 3. And then you can get a little later over at Valley Mills. Generally, they'll stay open a little bit later over there. But that downtown Schmaltz, they kind of get that the working crowd, like Scotty. Scotty will probably kick off here maybe a little early if I can make it happen. And he'll probably just run right over there and get himself the Schmaltz, the best sandwich on the board for but you can get about everything. Wonderful bread, wonderful meat, wonderful veggies, the whole thing. Scotty seems to be a guy, if I had to guess, who likes to take some veggies and kind of remove them from his sandwiches. But don't make it any way you ask.
I don't know what you mean by that. But to be clear, in my Schmaltz's order, I only asked for them to remove one veggie.
I was right.
But I like most of the veggies.
Tomatoes or lettuce or what?
No, I like tomatoes and lettuce. Those are very normal.
What do you like? What do you take off? Onions?
I don't like black olives.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't do black olives. No.
Okay, great. We're on the same page.
But
good.
I think
Scotty's not a loser who takes vegetables off his sandwich.
Yeah. The olives are understandable. It's a bad taste, and I've tried to acquire the taste, and I can't do it. So
if they're on there, I eat the sandwich. Like it's fine, but I'd rather have it without.
It'll ruin a sandwich for me. Even worse than like mayo would. It would destroy a sandwich.
Geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mayo. You can make an argument for mayo on a BLT. But really, on anything else in life, you just need to be away from it. You need to get away from it. And it's weird because there are some mayo-based things I'll do, but even with like tuna, I would prefer it be made with mustard. People say, that's weird. Well, people do it. People make it with mustard, and even loved ones in my life will make it that way, knowing that's how I like it. Scotty, let's do Campus Confidential.
Matt, I'm sure this will connect with you because, this is a very cross-generational story here. EA Sports College Football 26.
Let's not act like there's like a huge divide between us.
Well, we're about to find out. EA Sports College Football 26, which came out at the end of July, is already the number 3 best-selling video game of the year. This is, of course, after EA Sports College Football 25 became the best-selling video game of all time. Now, Matt Mosley, I don't know what your Baylor experience was like, but mine was many hours spent building up my Baylor Bear dynasty. I believe I built a dynasty with Charlotte that was quite strong in the old NCAA games. And when they brought back College Football 25 last year for the first time in 11 years, it was delightful. Clearly, everyone agrees. Best-selling video game ever. This year's edition, already the 3rd highest-selling game of the year. My friends and I have an online dynasty where we are all at different schools, competing against each other, recruiting against each other. General debauchery ensues. It's a great time. I know that you are certainly a huge College Football 26 gamer, I'm sure.
No, and I think you could have guessed that. When I was at college at Baylor, I was doing this little thing called dating, going on a lot of dates, and we were, I don't know exactly, we would just we were doing a lot. We had a lot on our plate. I can't remember.
Doing a lot on the dates.
We had no, not that. Do not extrapolate
I'm following your sentence structure, Matt Mosley.
I was kind of moving on to the, separate of dating, just kind of what we were headed around town up to at Paparola's, wherever we were hanging back in the day. There was a lot, maybe over.
We hang at Paparola's when I was at Baylor too.
Good.
Yeah, that was a common.
Good. I'm glad
Sunday
you got out
after
of
church.
The dorm occasionally, where all some of that gaming was taking place. No, if they brought back like the Atari 2026 college football, or Intellivision, or anything on Commodore 64, like if I could get a hold of the old Commodore 64 baseball game, I'd be fine. Or whatever Coleco was, I kind of like some of that. So I'm not opposed to video games, but like just haven't played them since I was in high school, and did not play them in college, and it's just kind of moved on with my life. But I'm excited that you're excited, and I don't understand really anything like why you would have played with Charlotte. Is that you're talking about Charlotte, the football team?
That is correct. You see, when you are as great at this game as I am,
you try to play with a lesser opponent.
It is way too boring to take a school that already has good football players. It is way more fun to take on the challenge of picking a crappy team. So my buddies and I, in our online dynasty where we all play together right now, we all took a bad program, and we're seeing who can build up the best program. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear it, and I hate that I haven't been able to break into that kind of online forum that you guys have together, that platform. And someday I'll get on there and Twitch with you guys, or whatever it is you do.
Hey, I stream every one of my games on Twitch so that they can all watch.
I'm sure. Yeah. Please. Yeah, I'll wade in there, and I think people will be excited about that. Mosley's here to comment on each of you.
You could do play-by-play. That would actually Mosley. I actually wonder if we could blow up our millennial audience here.
Yeah.
If you did just one play-by-play of me and a buddy doing college football 26, that would be so funny.
I would be more likely to do that than the other thing you were trying to tempt me to do.
What, the tattoo?
No, I'm not. That's not even a temptation at all. Nor is shotgunning a beer, which you were wanting me to do on set at one point. That's never going to happen.
It would have gotten us a lot of views.
Okay.
I'm the producer, Mosley. I'm trying to figure out how to get content.
Hey, we're doing content every single day, and that's some of that is unnecessary. Okay, sir, what do you have for me next in Campus Confidential?
Feature story today on CBS Sports, a name that Baylor fans know and maybe have mixed feelings about. Some love him, some may not. This is Mississippi State's best start to a football season in 11 years. They are 4-0 under head coach Jeff Lebby and guided by quarterback Blake Shapen. 4-0 going into a game this weekend against 3-1 Tennessee. Matt, I think it was easy to kind of overlook that Arizona State upset victory, but if Mississippi State beats Tennessee this weekend, we got to start talking about that as one of the great turnarounds in college football here.
I think it'd be a fun story. I think that they had one really good win this year, but I think we have to view this in the context of Jeff Lebby is coming off an 0-8 season in the SEC. So our expectations have to remain somewhat low, and realize that going 4-4 would be enormous and like a huge story for Mississippi State. So,
well, if they go 4-4 in conference play, that's 8-4 on the year. That's a great year for them. Yeah,
correct. And so I don't want to get out over our skis here, but the truth is, as bad as they were last year, even 3-5 would be a huge improvement. And I think that's probably, and they're obviously gunning for more than that. Okay, where is that game? Tennessee gets together with Mississippi State. I think this is a dangerous team in Starkville. I do not think this is a dangerous team on the road at most venues. I think if they have to take this thing into Knoxville, then it's not, it's not something they can pull off. I think the line on this game will tell you exactly where this thing is for sure, because
it is in Starkville, Mississippi.
What's the line?
I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
The line is Tennessee is giving up 7.5. I think that's a really interesting play there.
What are they saying? Tennessee is
favored. They're favored by
okay.
7.5. That's a pretty dramatic line. And Vegas knows what they're talking about.
And you want to take the home team to cover that. That's what, if you were a gambling man, you would be.
I might take Mississippi State if their quarterback wasn't Blake Shapen. But I just have a really hard time trusting that guy. I really do.
He's fine. He's fine. He's got great hair these days. The guy has a good bandana that he gets out.
Guy should have stuck with baseball. I don't know. He was a pretty dadgum good. He was a pretty great shortstop, Matt. He was pretty great.
Yeah. That was one of those deals where
I watched a lot of his high school tape, by the way, so we're clear.
I'm sure. I can't imagine how much baseball tape you watch, but oh man, if that kid had a just like, he had that great, he came in, then he got hurt in that game, but I'm talking about that championship game. But I think the Bears put way too much into just limited knowledge of him. Like they just didn't base their decision on enough evidence. They projected what he was going to be instead of the evidence they had. And it'd be interesting to me if we gave Jake Spavital some truth serum when he first arrived, like how much did they actually try to get him to stay? And was it tiny bit? Did they actually make a sell? Did they actually try to, he was gone pretty quickly. Now they brought in DeQuan Finn, who to this day, I don't even know where DeQuan is right now. I think he's like Miami of Ohio or somewhere. He got back into the MAC, and I don't know how he's doing, but still amazing that that's what they thought they needed to go. But again, people make decisions. They don't always work out. Somebody brought in a New Mexico quarterback. Utah did, and he's had okay moments this year. Somebody brought in the kid Fernando. Where was he? He wasn't anywhere. Just like, he was okay. He was a good college quarterback, but he wasn't playing at a place where you would go, that guy is going to win the Heisman next year. And now Signetti and Indiana have him at the top of the Heisman race. Fernando Mendoza, of all people. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, give me one more. And then we got to get ready for Bill Jones to show up.
You want to talk about the lines, or you want to talk about patches on jerseys?
The most interesting one of those two.
I think you said it, but you fussed at me last week for giving you too many matchups, so I'll try to limit how many. There's another series of great matchups in college football, starting with tonight, TCU at Arizona State. I think that's going to tell us a lot about both teams. Another ranked game, number 21 USC goes to number 23 Illinois. I think these are both teams that people might have reason to doubt in their kind of ranked status. We'll see what those teams do. Of course, you said it. Number 4 LSU is a 1.5 point favorite at Ole Miss. Auburn, by the way, who we made a bet on last week's game, and Auburn lost on a call that the SEC admitted shouldn't have happened, should have not counted. Auburn now unranked, going to number 9 Texas A&M. A&M a 6.5 point favorite. That one intrigues me, Matt.
Yeah, I think this is if A&M is going to take the next step, they have to come back from a huge win and get this thing done against a pretty decent Auburn team. We've seen them in person. Other than that play, that was a dumb thing that the refs missed, but they also got Jackson Arnold beat to a pulp in that game. I think on standard rushes, I think they had 8 sacks on poor Jackson Arnold. So if they can't protect him against A&M, it'll be another game that gets away from them, although they hung in there and they fought against OU. But this is, you're right. This is a big This is a big one, and this is big for what A&M is trying to become. They have to win games at home that they're supposed to win, and they haven't always done that. And this is an awkward opponent for them at home. I don't know why I think that, but I think this could go down to the wire, and I think Auburn could have a lead in the fourth quarter, and we'll see what Marcel Reed and that offense can do to respond to that. Bill Jones, get ready to join us, the longtime CBS 11 in Dallas. He's got a lot of thoughts on the Cowboys. He's next.
Best for your body. You want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge,
Yes?
and you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Collin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
It is the Matt Mosley Show. What was some fast talking there on that Underdog commercial. I was glad I was able to pull that off. And Scotty Swingler alongside, as always, Bill Jones getting ready to join us. I was hoping, I was warned, Bill, that there might be a graphic suggesting that it was the name of a former amazing college football coach that was in. So I was hoping to see that across my screen. Barry Switzer, friend of both of ours, the icon himself. But Bill, good to see you. You're looking relaxed. Great to have you kind of out on the patio. I think this is as close as I can come to getting invited out there to South Lake and being a part of that patio scene. But I'll take it. I'll take it. Sir, you've had time to leave the Cowboys locker room and that whole scene out there, get home, relax a little bit. Is there anything that you came away with this week that made you think, okay, yeah, that was a bad scene out in Chicago, but, there's some things they're getting back. There's some things that make me optimistic that there might actually be a competitive ball game Sunday night. Has there been anything that you've been, or either some of the conversations you've had that have made you think in that direction at all?
Matt, it's great to join you, and I'm sorry, but my dogs are starting to bark as soon as I started talking here.
Well, if they're going to do that, they have to be on screen. So at some point, if they make some noise,
there's one of them right there. There you go. You can see it's either Maggie or Millie. We used to have Bo and Romo, two beagles, and now we have Maggie and Millie. And I'm not sure. Don't ask me what kind of dogs these are. I'm not really sure.
Spoiled dogs, I would
Yes,
imagine.
they are. But Bo and Robo were our dogs before. They lived 16 or 17 years. Both of them. One lived
Wow.
16, the other 17. And may they rest in peace now. But we quickly got 2 new dogs. But anyway, to answer your question, the practice report coming out of Green Bay gives me pause and gives me cause to think that the Cowboys could have a chance on Sunday night. And that's the injuries on the Packers offensive line. They're missing their right tackle, Zach Tom, their left guard, Aaron Banks, missing practice for a 3rd consecutive day, both of them. And if you go back and look at the all 22, which I know you do, the Packers game against the Browns, it wasn't just because Cleveland has a really good defense that Jordan Love had some difficulties in that game. It was Zach Tom getting hurt. Myles Garrett bull rushed him on the first play of the game, and he strained his oblique muscle that was already ailing him. He was gone for the game. So they put this number 77 Jordan Morgan in at right tackle, who was their 1st-round pick last year, taking 4 picks ahead of Tyler Guyton. He did not perform well at right tackle. 30 plays into the game, Aaron Banks, the left guard, goes down. A guy they spent like $80 million over 4 years from San Francisco. There's Millie. So Jordan Morgan moves to left guard, and he might have done worse at left guard than he did at right tackle. And their 1st-round pick this year, Anthony Belton, comes in at right tackle. And he did not fare well at right tackle either. And he has now missed practice the last couple of days. So there's hope in that they're not healthy on that offensive line for the Packers.
Yeah, sources have revealed to me, though, Bill, the Cowboys aren't exactly healthy on their own offensive line as well. Bill Jones joining us, CBS 11, longtime anchor, Cowboys insider, and it's – both teams, Cowboys are going to be without CD. The Micah story overshadows everything. The best he could, he kind of held off and didn't. He's trying to act like it's another game. I think, Bill, we both know, and we've been around Micah enough to know, like, whether he's felt disrespected along the way, whatever the case may be, I think he wants to have an enormous game. And I think this means a lot to him. And he's got the suite. He still has his suite. Apparently, he couldn't get Kenny Clark to switch that with him. But I was going to ask you, who do you think's like more motivated and excited about the outcome of this game, Micah or Jerry? Because there was something Jerry said on his one of his numerous radio shows today that sort of, it was almost like he was giving a pep talk or like a motivational talk, like, we can do this, let's go, I think we can get this one. I don't know if that's for himself, if he thinks he can inspire the team, but I think this means a lot to both of those guys.
I think it does too, and I do think Jerry has convinced himself to get fired up for this game. And we know Mike is going to be motivated. And I think it may have taken some convincing to get Jerry up to that kind of motivation, because he has been a witness to what's happened the last couple of weeks. But doesn't take much for Jerry to convince himself of things, does it?
No.
And so I think by Friday, he has convinced himself that the Cowboys can go out there and shock the world, as it were, on Sunday night.
Okay, I don't know what the plan. They should have a plan again, because they do know the guy. Of course, now people are saying, well, he's gonna, not only is he gonna be great for them, but Rashawn Gary's now gonna get 15 sacks. It's like Mike is so they were already good. I think that's the thing that's kind of galling to a lot of people too, is they took a team that they've had trouble getting past in the playoffs, and they made that team, probably a lot better. At least, already, I don't know what that Browns game meant. It was a little bit fluky. They probably should have won that game. There was a field goal, all of that. I mean, are we still thinking after what you've seen, Bill, for like obviously through 3 weeks, NFC wise, would you say obviously Tampa Bay's undefeated, Packers are there, Eagles are still undefeated, Lions bounce back after a bad opening week, but I mean, would you put anybody right now ahead of the Packers, or do you kind of have that group? And I may have missed somebody. All kind of similar right now.
Well, and then the Rams are right
Rams,
there with them. I mean, they make a field goal at the end of the game, and they beat the Eagles on the road. Tampa Bay has they've won 3 games by 6 points, a total of 6 points. We find out more about them this week against Philadelphia, and I think Detroit. Even though there is a head-to-head matchup between Detroit and Green Bay, right, in the opener. They played in the opener, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay won that game. And so that got everybody on that Green Bay bandwagon, that and the Micah trade. Detroit has played really well since then. And Detroit, what they did against the Ravens last week. So I still think that the Lions are probably, even though they lost to the Packers, are the team to beat. And I know that doesn't make sense, but
okay.
A lot of things in this league don't make sense. And a lot of that has to do, too, is that it is a different Packers team without 2 of their starters on their offensive line. They paid good money to Zach Tom at right tackle and a lot of money to Aaron Banks at left guard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we took 2 players off that Cowboys offensive line, but if you took Tyler Smith off that offensive line for the Cowboys, then they'd really be hurting, I think. So to answer your question, the Packers are right there, and depending on how the injuries fall through the rest of the season, there's no reason to think they wouldn't be there, competing at least for it in the end. But I just think there's not that much difference in a lot of these teams. And this first month of the season, we're starting to figure out what these teams are all about. I thought Seattle had a really good team until Kyler Murray and the Cardinals got 2 touchdowns on them in the 4th quarter last night, and then all of a sudden they came back to earth and they won the game because of a failed kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like weird how closely we cover the NFL. And then I hear like a landing zone deal, which I'm sure because you call those preseason games, you had to kind of learn all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, remind me what the landing zone, what that is. You've seen. We just saw Luka come back to town, and you were probably in the arena that night. That was a massive thing. They tried to celebrate him. It was awkward. He was emotional. Then he went out and put one on the Mavs. And then the home crowd was rooting for him every basket and was behind him. And that was a bizarre scene. It will not be that bizarre. Will Cowboys fans still show up in some Parsons jerseys? Probably so. I don't think they're all going to it won't be like Luka. But it could get awkward in the sense that if it goes poorly, I do think they'll turn on Jerry. It's hard to say who they're booing. Are the players? Is it Jerry? And we also know the Packers travel. The Packers fans do travel, and they usually pick one game or a couple of games a year. And I'd be shocked if there weren't a pretty good amount of them. Bill, you've seen some of these. I just brought up the Luka one. You've seen others. You've seen people come back to town and all. What do you think the atmosphere will be like? And what do you think? Because I think Cowboys fans are going to feel a little bit weird. There may be a moment where they want to, as he comes out on the field, where they actually want to show some appreciation. But there won't be any video or anything like the Luka. It will not be like the Luka scene. We do know that because, honestly, the connection to Micah is not what the fan base's connection to
Right.
Luka was. What do you think that atmosphere will be like Sunday night?
And the other part of that, I agree with you. I mean, there is a Luka love here that goes beyond many athletes that that's even come through here. He was here a longer period of time than Micah, and frankly, accomplished more than Micah did in terms of getting his team to the NBA Finals just 6 months before he was traded away. I think it will be it will be hard to say what the reaction is on Micah, I think, just because it's such a huge building. And as you said, you've got so many Packer fans that will probably be in the building anyway, who were planning to come to this game even before, back in May when it got put on the schedule, that it will be hard to gauge that. And it's more, I sense that it's more of a boo Jerry crowd than, or maybe not necessarily the people who will fork over the tickets for the games, but in general here in North Texas, it's more of an anti-Jerry crowd than it is a pro-Micah crowd that has kind of driven the criticism of the trade to begin with. And it's a 30 years, if not more, of an anti-Jerry sentiment.
Mm-hmm. You don't think the Netflix documentary? Bro, I kept looking for. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking back now. If I got to see a young Bill Jones, you've kind of kept your youthful look over the years.
I was actually in there. My old college roommate sent me a screenshot. I think it was in the second episode. Troy Aikman is walking into the locker room, I think, and I'm holding up a wall. I'm standing up against a wall in a beautiful sweater. So it was wintertime. I had a David Moore-like sweater on at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you got the memo that some of those sweaters were out of fashion, and David never did. Now he spends most of his time in Taos, New Mexico. I'm always shocked that people retire and they save up money and can retire. I'm just like, wait, how do you do that? How is that?
I have no idea. No idea.
How is that done? I don't know. It wouldn't shock us if Micah has a big night. He's going to line up all over the place. Cowboys will be without their starting center and right guard. It makes sense that he would try to come from that area. They'll do they know him.
Have you seen the tackles?
That's right. I may be putting too much thought into that. Maybe he's going to be. Yeah, there's really no bad place he could line up except over
Tyler
the
Smith.
Left guard. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he may give guidance.
You know where
he
won't be. He won't be coming over Tyler Smith, but he's got the other 80% of the offensive line fair game.
Yeah. I don't. It is interesting because it's like, I think everybody took the anti-Jerry stance through most of the negotiations. And then kind of toward the end, when Micah was doing some goofy stuff, and when you're sitting there broadcasting that game, I'm trying to remember, did somebody say to you, or did y'all actually film him over there on that, during the game? Did anybody ever get in your ear and say, hey, Micah's over there on the training table, laying? Nobody said that to you?
No, we in fact, it was Micah was off limits during the preseason games, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Both to talk to and try not to film him too much and all that kind of stuff. Right. Yes.
I told the producers, well, we have to show him, like the first game, we have to show him at the game that he made the trip here, in LA or whatever, that he's at the game.
But he wouldn't wear the jersey, and then they had to beg him to put his jersey on at practice, and we were both out there for training camp monitoring all of that. And I think probably fans started to get fed up. Now, the problem is with fans, they can be, okay, I heard people say this to me, and I seriously said to you, trade the guy, just trade him. And then you do it, and who knows, maybe those things will work out, but those things aren't going to work out until a year from now or 2 years from now. That's when all that'll come to fruition. And they put a first-time head coach, and this defensive coordinator in a really bad spot, and then sat up there and told us, hey, we can scheme this thing up. And, we may be, I hate to say this, but we might be even better off. And so far, those comments have looked laughable. And so we all should have seen this coming, that they weren't going to have a pass rush. I think what we tried to do, Bill, and we always do this after we've been at training camp, man, Ezraku, he's good. This Sam Williams, maybe this Brandon Neelam, maybe he can kind of come along. You try to, what's that?
Marshawn Neelam.
Marshawn Nealon. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Who's Brandon?
Brandon.
I'm inventing players. Yeah, Marshawn came from a directional school somewhere. But yeah, we sort of convince ourselves, maybe they can do this. Maybe they can pull this off. And so far, they haven't come close to that.
They haven't. But the biggest issue has been, and granted, it has to do with not being able to get enough pressure on the quarterback as well. It all goes hand in hand. Is just a seemingly lack of communication or something in that secondary that are keeping veteran guys, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson. Now, Trayvon Diggs hasn't been practicing, and so I don't understand why he presses Rome Odunze when that wasn't what it was called for, according to the head coach. He did that on his own when he hasn't really practiced and so he slips and an easy touchdown. And then on the flea flicker, those are veteran guys in the secondary making mistakes. It wasn't like you got some rookie back there at safety. And then the confusion on in particular, the Wan'Dale Robinson touchdown in the Giants game. You can see before the snap that Hooker is motioning towards Donovan Wilson. They're trying to figure out who's got who and what coverage they're playing. That kind of stuff is what has caused a lot of these big plays to happen. And it didn't matter whether Micah was on the field or not. Those passes were going to be completed. So that's what's confusing about it right now, and where I think it is fixable from that standpoint. And I don't know enough about it to know, you simplify the calls, you simplify something back there to where everybody gets on the same page. I mean, a couple of the other touchdowns, Donovan Wilson just lets the tight end upfield. I mean, clearly against Chicago, Cole Kmet's touchdown. Nobody's guarding him. Nobody even followed him off the line of scrimmage. And so
I think, Bill, they need to get better at some of this sign stealing. I don't know if you've seen that story today.
I've not.
Apparently Jacksonville, and it's totally legal. This is not a Connor Stallion type situation. They are the best in the business right now. And they brought some people that had been together in Minnesota. And they are, according to the 49ers defensive coordinator, which is the old head coach for the Niners, the Jets. He says Robert Saleh. They say they are the best in the business, and they can literally look at like the hand signals of a defense. And you were just talking about the Cowboys communication and the lack thereof, and they can literally, they study it so much, and it's everybody from that Rams tree, McVay, all those guys are the ones best at it, and that they can just simply, do it in the camera, something like that. Boom. They know, and then they see it enough, and they know exactly what they're getting into. So I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys need to look into that. Now, I noticed you had the red. I don't know if is that a crimson type?
It's
almost
it's
Red
more
Raider.
Raider. Yeah, Red Raider. My wife went to Tech, so I'm wearing that today.
Well, after that Utah trip, she may be getting her guns up, and who knows? I think
that's right.
The Jones family may have been sending some of that NIL money out there.
No, we don't need to. They've got their own billionaire.
Well, I can see
Cody Campbell.
Some of those backyard appliances look pretty nice to me. So
we spent $300 on a grill.
I like it. It's built in.
Probably $300 to have it installed too. So
it looks very nice. Stonework looks very nice out there. The John Mateer. Let's get your Sooners insight for a second.
Stuff now. Yeah.
You follow local high school football, so a lot of these quarterbacks that have Texas ties, I believe, is Hawkins one of them? Is he a Dallas Fort Worth? Is he a Denton?
Yeah, he was. Well, Michael Hawkins Jr. was at Allen his sophomore year.
Okay.
Then transferred to Emerson High School in Frisco ISD. And so he was at Frisco Emerson. Hawkins, as a sophomore at Allen, was in the same district with Denton Geyer, who had Jackson Arnold, the former Oklahoma quarterback, now at Auburn, who Baylor fans are well aware of. He was at Geyer. And John Mateer was at Little Elm in that same district. all three of those quarterbacks played in District 5A or whatever district number that was. How about that?
I like that. And while you're on that subject, my producer has fallen in love with his quarterback at Argyle Liberty Christian, coached by Jason Witten. You're someone that has a really good relationship with Witten, and you've done stories on that high school and his coaching and all. I believe the young man's name is Quinn Murphy.
That's right.
Is that
I'm
accurate?
very familiar with him.
Yeah, that's better than I did on Nealand. Did anything you can share with us as he gets ready? Because my producer / co-host Scotty has him arriving on campus soon, and he will immediately have a starring role in Waco. Have you seen some really good signs from him? What can you tell us about him?
I have seen him play some. I have. There's another kid on that team who's a really good player too.
Oh, the Witten kid.
The Witten.
Yeah, Cooper Witten, is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Cooper Witten, who's a junior, and I would suggest spend as much NIL money as possible on that Witten kid. But Murphy is a good player. I can tell you that. I don't know how ready he will be when he comes on campus.
Murphy can sling it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Scotty. That's one way to get
He's not
Scotty
not
fired.
a dual threat guy though, and so don't get ideas of him being RG3 or anything like that.
I never said RG3. I just said starter.
Okay. Well,
immediate starter.
That's what he's getting at.
Depends on who's on the roster, but yes, let's go. Why not?
Let's not indulge him too much on this. I've already got a bet. I've said if he starts day one at Baylor, we'll remove my name from the show and put Scotty's on it. So I feel pretty comfortable that the kid's not going to. I think
it's going to.
Yeah.
Nothing against Quinn Murphy, but I think this will remain the Matt Mosley show for a while.
That's right. Okay, but back to OU, because, Sooner Scoop, by the way, did drop by to give the hand surgeon a gift in Mount Sinai Hospital. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of funny, but also kind of just weird. I'm just like,
what, though?
Doesn't seem like great security up there.
It's funny you mentioned the word weird, because apparently the OU Daily had a reporter, the student newspaper, had a reporter at the airport, Max Westheimer Field in Norman, for the arrival back home of John Mateer, and law enforcement blocked his view, and so he could not get video of Mateer deplaning. And so later that day, Brent Venables, at his media availability, described it as weird that an OU Daily reporter was, and maybe there's some others too, were at the airport to chronicle the arrival of Mateer. And I say, stay weird, OU Daily. That is investigative journalism that we need. Wouldn't you agree with that, Matt?
What was that? Oh, yeah. I'm for that. I mean, that was one of the best stories of when Scott Drew almost left to go to Kentucky. An enterprising reporter was out on the tarmac and saw his wife come back from Lexington. And she was nice enough to kind of obscure out the kids. I think you don't have to really put the kids on, but yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I can see you.
Can I bore you? Yeah. Can I bore you with some stories of me when I was at OU as a student reporter at KGOU radio, and some of the things we did? It would be described as weird to go hang out in the Howard Johnson's motel lobby when the Phoenix Suns basketball team arrived, in order with my little tape recorder to get interviews with. It may have been the Golden State Warriors were playing. There was a doubleheader played in Norman, okay, because you had Gar Hurd playing for the Phoenix Suns. Alvin Adams Alvin would have been playing for Phoenix. Clifford Ray, another former Sooners, was with Golden State. We hung out in the Howard Johnson's motel lobby with our tape recorders in hand, me and my buddy. And we got JoJo White, got an interview with him as he checked into the motel, and others as well, like Clifford Ray and Gar Hurd and these former Sooners. And that would be described as weird, wouldn't it be?
That would be described as enterprising. That would be described as exactly what you should have been doing at that point in your life.
And then I was the only reporter at shoot around the next morning when the Lakers had their shoot around, and got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the ramp headed out to the bus. He was on the and then prior to the game, I'm down on the court side. The Lakers were playing the second game, and there was a rookie for the Los Angeles Lakers, 19 years old, by the name of Magic Johnson.
Ooh.
I saddled up to him with my tape recorder and got an exclusive interview with him. That is all weird stuff that college reporters will do, and it's one of the most memorable moments of my career.
Wow. And
How about that?
The next question is, did you save any of those tapes? Did you save any of those
somewhere in a
recordings?
shoebox? I have a cassette tape, I think. Yeah.
Fortunately, Bill's been at CBS 11 now for, oh my goodness, you haven't had to like put a tape together in a good long while, which is nice. It's tough to do in this business.
And by the way, this is weird. Okay, we had a talk show, KGOU radio talk show. It was once a week on Tuesdays. We would call Major League Baseball clubhouses just randomly and ask for the visitors clubhouse and interview a Major League Baseball player. Got right through to him. Talked to Jerry Royce. Jerry Royce and J.R. Richard the day after their no-hitters, exclusive interviews. Called Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where the All-Star game was played that year, and got the American League clubhouse, and Earl Weaver gets on the phone and says, and cusses us out and says, "How the hell did you get this phone number?" Those are some of the stuff we did. That was weird.
I love it. I love it. And I say, if you're doing that stuff, stay weird. And those students should be encouraged to keep showing up at the airport. All right. And since you love high school football, last night, Channel 33, they had Lake Highlands versus Pierce. And boy, Lake Highlands has a quarterback transfer. We went to the portal. We got a kid from Highland Park named Chuck Smith. And I don't think he was going to start for them. And he's got
Buck Randall. Buck Randall's at quarterback for Highland Park.
I mean,
no one's starting ahead of him.
All the best to Buck. But this kid, who would have been Buck's second or third stringer over there, is lighting it up and is honestly one of the most accurate and probably may end up being one of the most prolific passing seasons in Lake Highlands history. Now, you say, well, Matt, didn't they run the veer and the wishbone for years? And I would say yes, but they have had their fair share of passing quarterbacks over the years. It's unbelievable. But I did notice Duncanville gets beat by Waxahachie. And, man, there are just certain things that aren't supposed to happen. And I think Duncanville even had a lead in that, had a fairly big lead in the third quarter, and that thing got away from them. So I was told that South Lake Carroll, once Duncanville lost, was going to be elevated to at least number one in the area. I don't know where they are in the state right now, but
they're number one.
In the whole state?
Yeah.
Oh,
Texas football has them number one.
Okay.
They've been number one since day one this season.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right. Well, if there was anybody out there at South Lake Carroll you needed to brag on or anything, I just wanted to give you that forum, give you that opportunity right now. Dragons looking pretty strong.
They're looking pretty strong. Yep. And I think it would be a disappointment if they don't make it to the state championship game, at least this year. Of course, they made it last year. They've got returning starters across the board on offense and defense. Angelo Renda, their quarterback, a Pitt commit. He's almost as tiny as Riley Dodge was back in the day when he was playing. His head coach. Brock Boyd, wide receiver, committed to Ohio State. Brody Knowles, another wide receiver, is being recruited by the likes of TCU and OU, maybe Baylor as well. I'm not sure. He is the son of Mark Knowles, tennis player who won the Grand Slam doubles title at Wimbledon and perhaps at the U.S. Open. I think he's got 3 Grand Slam titles wins. Mark Knowles. So
yeah.
They've got their 2 tackles. One's committed to OU and the other one's committed to Michigan. So yeah. So there's some talent on that team.
Yeah, there's something about up that direction, and then when you get out to Prosper direction, where there'll be whole offensive lines. Allen for years, obviously, but like Prosper is growing I don't know what's in the water or what they're feeding the kids, but they are producing unbelievable offensive linemen. And you will get an entire offensive line that has D1 offers. And you've probably seen that right there at South Lake Carroll. I'll just leave you with one, Bill, to keep an eye on as Christian Rhodes, running back who's committed to SMU, senior out of Lake Highlands, and in a place, and you talked about a tiny player. This is a throwback. He's more of an upright, not saying he's Eric Dickerson, but I'm just saying that style of tall, and then he combines it so he's about 6'10", 215 or 220. Let's give him 210.
6'10"?
6'2", sorry, if I
I'm
misspoke. 6'2", yeah, he's one of the taller running backs in the history of the Metroplex. 6'2", 215, and we're talking 4'4", 4'5" range, and he's just got that lean to him, and when he gets out in the open field, you might think of somebody from Hooks, Texas, or Sealy, Texas.
Wow,
some of those types.
Okay. Man.
So anyway, I don't know why I started whispering. Yeah.
Will Lake Islands go Division I or Division II? You think? Are they one of the largest?
The biggest one. Yeah, they usually end up in the biggest.
Well, then they can win state in Division I because Carroll's going Division II likely.
Carroll, I think Carroll is ducking Lake Highlands. I like how Highland Park did it. It's like, ooh, this 6A.
Because you mentioned Duncanville out west, North Crowley. They lost to Rockwall last week, and that snapped a 19-game win streak for the defending Class 6A Division I state champions. So that's another opportunity there for Lake Highlands in Division I. They could make a little run here.
I love it. I love all that. The insight. I knew if I just brought up the high schools, you would take us in several directions, and I appreciate that. And I didn't know the Yellow Jackets had tapped back into some of their success from the past.
Well, and they only have a 2-2 record, which was alarming about North Crowley blowing their lead last Thursday night.
Yeah, Rodney Webb's gone back out there somewhere. Is he back at Heath?
Yeah, but he's not there. He's not at Rockwall.
He's at Heath,
so
maybe or something.
Maybe he is.
Bill, that was great. I appreciate it. Love doing it, man. Turn around on that gorgeous grill. Get the Ryder Cup on that TV. I'm trying to see what your TV situation is. It's
up there? That's the TV back there.
Oh, okay. So you can open that cabinet there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the Americans got off to a little bit of a slow start this morning.
I did see that. Yeah.
Hey, thank you for being on the Mosley Show, the YouTube version. Yeah, I've had to learn to be on camera, and Bill, that's not a place of comfort for me. It's a place of longtime comfort for you. But anyway, I appreciate you being on.
Well, you're looking good, Matt. You're looking good.
I appreciate that. I'll
give it a like.
Oh, thank you, and a subscription. Okay.
Yeah,
it's free. Okay. I believe it's free, and if I can figure out how to post
you're speaking my language, then.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
Okay. All right. Go Baylor.
Okay. Bill gives it a big Sick'em Bears as the Bears head out to play Mike Gundy and in Oklahoma State. I did that for you, Scotty. If Scotty can reappear here, Scott, I tried to just see, because I know he's real tied in. It sounds like he's a little more of a fan of Cooper Witten, than Quinn Murphy, because Cooper is a highly recruited
I would
guy.
love to have Cooper Witten at Baylor as well. I mean, who wouldn't? He could end up playing either side of the ball in college.
Is that Cap from this Cap company that we're doing some things with? Is that another one, or is this a whole different style?
Nah, you are correct. This is from Hondo Hat Company, sponsor of the Green and Gold Game Day show.
Sponsor of Mosley. God, the sponsors are lining up on
sponsor
this
of
Mosley
Deer
show.
Sports with Faith Lynch. Actually, is how they got tied in.
I have had to tell people, game locked. Okay, we've got people wanting to get on this Mosley show. It'll be good to be with you, Scotty. You and Faith Lynch, boy, friend for years, friend in tears. That's a line from, I think, Hoosiers. How old were you when you watched Hoosiers for the first time? Did your parents introduce you to that at a pretty early age?
Yes. Somewhere between 10 and 12, probably.
That was a movie when we saw in high school and then on into college that we, there's a very quotable. That was a huge quotable movie.
It has like the weirdest, like awkward makeout scene of all time, though. And unfortunately, when I first watched it at like 10 to 12 years old, somewhere in there,
much for you.
It was just a lot. I just didn't feel great about that.
She's also, I think, in Lonesome Dove. You need to go back and watch.
Okay.
The Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones
are
in the first Lonesome Dove. The second one has John Boyd in it, and it's kind of like hit or miss. Ricky Schroeder was.
If we're talking about quotable movies, I was just talking earlier during a break with some coworkers here. The most quotable movie of all time to me,
Top Gun.
That's one of them. I'll give you that. I love Top Gun. I'm a big Top Gun fan. Yellow Card opened their show Tuesday night with the Top Gun theme. I don't even think I told you that.
No.
That's the one. They opened the show with it. I almost cried. It was awesome. No, the two most quotable movies to me, and I think it's common for millennials, Anchorman and Napoleon Dynamite.
God, you were so young though when both of those movies came out.
Both those movies came out around the time I was 11, 12 years old.
You shouldn't have watched Anchorman.
I did not watch Anchorman. I probably watched Anchorman for the first time when I was like 15 or 16.
Okay. I was going to say you should not.
But Napoleon, I watched pretty quickly after it came out on home video. I was probably 11 or 12 when I saw Napoleon for the first time.
You remember movies a lot of times by like who you were with.
Yeah.
Who you saw them with, and that's even led to some discomfort for me because I remember I saw Old School, which I'm sure was very funny and had some great, we're going streaking, all that stuff. Had some really good moments. But my buddy brought his either the woman he was dating or it might have been his new wife. And I just remember she did not think it was funny. And she was uncomfortable, but we did not leave the movie. And I just remember thinking, like I can't really laugh out loud. The other one like that was I saw twice on Broadway the one about Mormons, the Broadway musical about.
Yeah, I've seen that one twice too, just never on Broadway. I've seen it twice here in Texas though. The Book of Mormon.
Okay. And first time laughed, thought it was funny and everything. Second time, I had great seats. I was in New York and may have seen the first one actually at Fair Park in Dallas. And the second one I did see on Broadway.
Fair Park's the first place I saw it too.
It was during the Super Bowl week. They were playing in New York and we're there covering it. And I'm like, what am I going to go see? Well, I'll go see Book of Mormon. And I just went alone, which is fine by me. I was hanging out with Kalishaw. We were doing the old show on ESPN. And he was doing something else. And I said, I'll just go to this musical. I got no issue going alone. And I sat next to this guy who was highly, highly offended by all of it.
Oh, it's very offensive.
Yeah. I know. But that kind of stinks when someone is having a visceral, awful reaction to something.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to laugh. And you're just, it kind of ruins it for you.
Well, you know who created that?
The guy who did. Oh, wait, I do kind of know this. Who was it? Matt somebody?
Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park.
South Park. Yes, I do know that. And I think the early Josh Gad might have been in that.
He was. That's where Josh Gad got famous. Okay. That was his breakthrough role was in that musical. Yeah. Yes, you're correct.
It's like if you don't know what you're getting into, there are some moments you're like, dang, they said that?
Uh-huh.
And when they go like to do some mission work in Africa and some stuff, like there's some stuff said that you're like, whoa, like you're like, is in the current climate, does that get made? I don't know.
Probably not, to answer that question. And there's been a lot of there's been a pretty big movement for about a decade now to make it a feature film, especially with it being Parker and Stone, who've made feature films before. Like that, it should be a pretty easy translation. But I think the further we get into like the current cultural climate, the less likely it is that they'll ever greenlight that as a film.
The only way they could do it is if they turned the characters into superheroes. I think then Marvel.
You'd have to change a few things, I would think, pretty significantly to get Hollywood to green light that.
Yeah. Well, they green
Then again,
lighted.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone just signed like a multi-billion-dollar deal with Paramount just for the show.
Well, and
they could do it themselves if they wanted
we
to.
don't have enough nuance anymore to even take a joke like in our country, and like Blazing Saddles couldn't get made now. And what people understand is that Mel Brooks was like totally making fun of racism, but I think people watch that now and they try to watch it straight.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, how could they have said that? Well, Mel Brooks was Jewish, and almost everything he did was making fun of Nazis in a later, a movie, and then making fun of racism. But people don't get that. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so racist. It's like, well, that's not what he was
it's
doing.
like Tarantino's done that, right? Tarantino's made absurd movies about World War II and slavery and things that we just accept are absurd, right? And
I think I would have enjoyed seeing Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane in that one, on Broadway.
In Book of Mormon?
No.
I was gonna say that'd be a good pairing for Book of Mormon.
No, they did the famous Mel Brooks that was on Broadway forever. Yeah. That was making fun of Nazis, but the whole premise, you remember, was like they were trying to get a show. They could make more money if they made a horrible show, so they made a show like praising the Nazis. It was like Springtime with, all that. It was like one of the famous deals. And somehow it became a big hit, but it's just Mel Brooks. Yeah. It was very funny but it ran in Broadway for a long, long time. May still be running to this day. Okay. Let's give our predictions for tomorrow. You and I will be in a studio together, and we'll be getting everybody ready for this. Bears take on Oklahoma State Pokes, and the line on the game, at least last time I looked, was 20.5, 20.5 points. I think it's kind of hovered right around there. I think you think Baylor's going to cover this. I think what we have to understand is, and hopefully it won't last, but there may be in that stadium and even on that sideline among the Oklahoma State players, there may be a wave of emotion early in that game that you have to ride out. Is that sustainable? The reason the emotion was sustainable for TCU in 2021 is because they had this hot young quarterback that was throwing the ball all over the field, and the Bears couldn't defend it, and they got beat. It would be shocking if Oklahoma State was able to do that, because their quarterback hasn't been able to get anything done against anybody, including against Tulsa in Stillwater. And again, that's what got him fired. I mean, yes, all that other stuff, but he probably survives if they come out and do what everybody expected them to do, is take care of Tulsa at home. That was so embarrassing. They had to go ahead and fire him. And they should have fired him that night. I mean, it was crazy to make him go out there and do the thing Monday. So I think the Bears will be fine. I would hate to see them come out flat. That would be awful, and that would be awful for Dave Aranda and this coaching staff. So I believe that the Bears win this game 45-14. And I guess that gets it done, right? Yeah, that gets
I would take that.
That gets the line. All right, any thoughts, any prediction you want to make?
We'll obviously go into detail on tomorrow's Green and Gold Game Day show. Would love everybody to join us, 12:30 to 2:30 on YouTube. I'm of two minds here, Matt. I am really getting to the point where I am becoming a pessimist about this coach's ability to motivate energy. And if there's one thing Oklahoma State is going to play with, especially in that first quarter, as you've named, I think it's a pretty high level of energy. That being said, Oklahoma State severely lacks playmakers on either side of the ball. They are really suffering from a talent shortage, especially compared to Baylor. Baylor's talent should just be able to lean on Oklahoma State throughout the game and put up a lot of points and not give up a lot of points. I would anticipate Meacham is going to pull out the kitchen sink. Probably a couple plays that haven't been put on film, probably some trick plays, probably a fake punt. Some kind of like he's got nothing to lose, right? Meacham's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose and everything to gain if they win this game. So I really think they're going to treat it like it's the Super Bowl, but I don't think they've got the talent. So I think your prediction's close. I think Baylor might give up more than 14 because this defense is just poor, despite the fact that they showed up last week. I'm going to say, I think you're pretty close. I think 45 is a good guess for Baylor, and I'll say Oklahoma State gets to 24, which would also cover just barely.
Well, that would be a push, right? 24 and a half.
No, that would be 21, which would be over 20.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. We will see you tomorrow on the Green and Gold Game Day. I'll be right here in my studio. I'll be right here, Scotty. It is time for the landing. And, Brazos Landing, there's a good chance that Scotty and I make an appearance in that first half tomorrow out by the river and that beautiful, it's that old alligator bar. It's right where, used to be. I mean, it's a really fun, on a pretty day, a pretty fall afternoon, out by the Brazos. There's a chance we're out there. Love that New Orleans bar, though. They got a gorgeous bar. So there's a great chance I'll be feasting on Bang Bang Shrimp. Love a good BLT there. And then, I'm not opposed to a steak. I'm not opposed to an afternoon steak while watching that game. I mean, it's just wonderful what they put together. And it's one of those rare places where you get great TVs, great food, and incredible service, and it kind of all comes together in a fine dining experience out on the water. You just feel kind of like you're in the old Brazos Queen. It'll be like Scotty at one point will be like, Matt, are we still attached to the dock? Are we going down the Brazos together? Where are we? Did I just see the Farrell Center go by? It has that kind of great feel, almost like an old steam engine. Scotty will say, Matt, tell me about the days of the steam engines. Whatever Eli Whitney. What did Eli Whitney come up with? I think that was the cotton gin. Eli Whitney had a big discovery, but then the steam engine was somebody else. It was a good thing back in the day. But we'll basically be on the steam engine there at the Brazos Landing. All right, thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you to the greatest attorneys in all of Central Texas, and that is Cherry Johnson, Sigmund James. Love those guys. And thank you to Schmaltz's, the greatest sandwich place in the area. And then more on the way. Folks are just like, hey, how do we get involved? And I'm just like, well, we may have a couple more spots for you. We're very appreciative of that. And Scotty and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Green and Gold Game Day Show. Good night, everybody. Until then, it is the Mosley Show.
As for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.